Today we're going to be looking at the Cables to Go mobile office kit. This is different from the Cables to Go portable cable kit that they have, which includes various retractable cables and connections that you can use to hook up electronics. This has all that, but the mobile office kit also includes a few additional items that you may find handy when you're traveling carrying this with you. And this is good to have if you need the cables to connect up to a network, or to use a modem, or connect up any other kind of electronic device to your computer that you may have either left the cable at home for, or perhaps just completely forgot about. And there is quite a bit in here. We'll go through all of what these are. At the top we have a USB-A to mini connector, and that's used on some mobile phones. You may also find it on some portable optical drives that are powered via USB, and some other kinds that use this type of USB connector. And we have a USB male to male connector. This is for some of the adapters when using a particular cable. In fact, it's for this one because some of the USB connectors may need that. This is a USB A male to USB female retractable cable. So this accepts some of these connectors, like the ones here. It can also be used as a USB extension cable if a USB cable you have is not long enough. Right below those, we have a USB A to USB B type connector. This is used on some external hard drives and USB powered printers, things like that. On this side, we have another USB connector. I'm going to see if I can pull this one out here, and they're snugly in here so they don't fall out when you open it. Okay, this is that smaller USB type connector. So it's got this kind and then this type. This is used on some digital cameras, this small connector. Now, unfortunately, it does not have a USB micro connector, which some cell phones use that transfer data and charge with, but there's no USB micro connector in here. So if you've got a phone or other electronic device that uses USB micro connectors, you won't be able to use any of these on that, unfortunately, which is kind of sad that they didn't include that in this kit. Now below that we have a USB A to A cable, and this one is kind of used for making the networking and modem cables. So they differentiate USB type connectors from network ones so you don't accidentally wire them up, because you can actually damage electronic components if you, say, connect a USB port to a network port. They don't want you to do that, so they try to differentiate it that way. And below that we have, this is a 1394 FireWire to a little mini 4-pin mini, which is used on digital video cameras and some other FireWire devices that use that connector. This here is a network crossover connector. So if you want to make a networking crossover cable to transfer large data files, you would use this with this cable, and then you would use one of the RJ45 connectors there to establish a crossover cable. Below that is a 1394 A to A cable. So like, for instance, if you wanted to connect up a FireWire device to your computer, you could use this. Let's see. Below that is RJ11 connectors. So you can use this cable here with these connectors if you want to build an RJ11 modem cable. I'm not exactly sure why you would need that, because there's a retractable RJ11 modem cable already right here. But they put that in there anyway in case you want to use that. These are two regular RJ45 connectors, so you could use these if you want to build a standard network cable. below that we have a retractable headphone and microphone set, which is convenient to have. Below that is a 4-port USB hub, and we also have a 2-button wheel mouse that's optical with a retractable connection. So it gives you quite a bit. Like I say, if this was the cable kit, you wouldn't have these accessories over here. You would just have some cables, but it's nice to have these extra. And this only cost me $40 new, so you couldn't really beat that price for something like this. Now, for example, we'll show some of the cables that you can make. And like I say a little while ago, using the crossover cable, if you want to make large transfers of data between two PCs, you would take the crossover RJ45 connector right here. You would pull out the USB A to A retractable cable. You would plug one end into the crossover connector like so. On the other end, I would pull one of the regular RJ45s out and connect it to the other end. And now what I have made is a retractable RJ45 crossover cable. So yeah, I could connect this between two computers' network interface cards and be able to transfer large data over this cable between them. Now, if I took the crossover connector off, put it back, if I take that off and I use the other RJ45 cable here to build a regular networking cable, if I can pull it out, here we go. If I do this, now I've just put together a regular RJ45 cable, and I think this is equivalent to a category 5 cable in terms of speed. I don't think these are category 6 capable. But this is a regular RJ45 network cable, so you would need to have this cable go from the computer to a networking device like a router, switch, or hub for that to work. The crossover works between two devices, particularly computers. This has to go to a networking device. So put that away. It goes like this. I'm going to take that one off. Put that here. And then when you're done, you can just put all the cables back in spaces, and it's all conveniently tucked away. Same thing for these other ones. Say, for instance, I need to connect up an external hard drive, but I forgot to bring the cable with me. And generally they would use this kind of connector, the B, USB-B connector. So for that, we would have to use the cable up top that has the USB male to USB female connector. Then I would plug it in, other way. Now I've got a USB connection cable to connect that device to the computer. Go to the computer, go to the device. Again, it's all retractable, so you use the amount of cord that you need, and when you're done, it just all retracts. Let me see if I lock it. There we go. Now, when you're done, it all just neatly goes right back in the package. And all the labels face up so you can see which connector does what purpose. And they also give you a little guide which has all the various cable combinations you can make so you don't build the wrong cable and end up shorting out a component or anything like that, like I mentioned earlier. And when it's done, you just close it all back up. Grab the zipper portion and you zip it all back up. And you have it all in this nice little package. And you can hook this to your laptop bag or something like that if you've got a hook or a clip that you can put this on, and then it will always travel with you on your bag. You'll have all the cables you'll need right there with you. So again, this is the Cables to Go Mobile Office Kit.